real talk, just rap pack. Besides that, nobody I trust.
Back again like I never left. Young Sinai said that's to the death. We turned up till we go deaf. Rap pack to my last.
Greetings YouTube, L0N3 here. What is up guys? Before I say anything, I like to pardon my absence. I haven't been uploading lately. Main reason being because I finally got a job. So that means I can finally get my HD capture card. So I haven't actually started yet, but I'll probably start in a couple weeks from now, maybe next week, I'm not sure. So when I do get my HD capture card, I will be uploading in HD from now on. I don't really want to upload any more easy cap gameplay, mainly because, you know, it's not fair for you guys. I don't like producing it. I mean, like I of course it's better than nothing, but I just don't like producing it. Like it looks bad, honestly, and like I want the best for my viewers, even though there's only like I only have like 30 subscribers. You know, you guys are like all in my heart, so I'd rather have really good, you know, quality over quantity. You know what I mean? I'd rather have good quality videos every once in a while than, like, you know, crappy videos, you know, every time I'm supposed to upload. So that's the reason I haven't uploaded lately. Hopefully I'll get my HD capture card soon so I can start uploading HD. So yeah, with that out of the way guys, let's get into the topic. So today's topic, you're going to be seeing lots of gameplays in the background. There's no real reason for that, just so there's a variety of gameplays in the background because this is going to be a long commentary, longer than usual. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I'm not sure if that's really going to happen. So basically, today's topic is going to be about scams. So I was almost scammed yesterday, and I'll explain why. This is basically like a warning for like any like college students, any high school students, because like this is the first time this happened to me. I'll explain more into it later, but basically this is for anyone in general, but more specifically, you know, college students or high school students are going to be, you know, college students. So this is basically for you guys. So yeah, basically what happened is I got a call yesterday. This guy's like, oh, you know, you've been randomly selected to receive a $9,000 grant. So I was like, oh, okay. Now the reason I was playing Call of Duty at the time, so this guy was calling me. I was expecting a call from my work, from Toys R Us. That's where I got hired for orientation, because they said once the background check is done, they're gonna call me for orientation. I was playing Call of Duty, I got a call, I was like, oh, maybe that's them. I already have their contact in my phone, so their name didn't show up. I was like, maybe they're using a different phone, maybe it's like a home phone or something. So I picked it up, and that's when that guy called. He's like, hey, you know, you've been chosen for a grant, a $9,000 grant. Now, honestly, if I was actually paying attention, if I wasn't distracted by the money, I would probably figure out it was a scam from right then and there. Mainly because he said randomly chosen. So like, you know those ads on the computers like, oh, you are like 200,000 visitor, you know, you won a free iPad, blah blah blah. This is basically what this was. You know, he randomly selected, and like he didn't even know my name. If I was randomly selected, there would have been a list of people's names, and he would have said my name. So he would have said, you know, oh, blah blah blah, you've been randomly selected. So he didn't even know my name. So that should have been the first flag there. But I was so, you know, caught up with the money in my head. You know, $9,000 could help me a lot with, like, you know, college and like just helping out my parents in general. So I was like, I kept listening. So he had this really thick accent. The first guy was Asian, so I could tell he was Asian. So like, no offense to Asians, you know, I'm part Asian, but no offense to you guys, but he was Asian. So I was like, okay. I couldn't understand like half the things they were saying. I literally was telling him like, could you repeat that? Because I was trying to be nice, you know what I mean? Like, he said he worked for the U.S. Treasury or something like that, and I was like, but he's like from the federal. I forgot what I'll leave everything in the description, like, you know, the official names that they told me and stuff. But he was saying something like the Federal Reserve, like, grant or something like that. So I was like, I heard federal, I was like, hey, that seems legit, you know what I mean? So I kept listening, and then like something was clicking in my head. I was like, you know, like, if you work for the Federal Reserve, how come you don't speak fluent English? So I was like, you know, I kind of let that slide. I was like, you know, maybe they're gonna be nice, you know, maybe they're not discriminating. So I was like, I'll let it slide. It wasn't my mind, but I didn't think about it too much. So I kept talking, saying that I won it because I was the grant was called the Loyal Citizen Grant because I paid bills on time. I didn't file a bankruptcy. I have no criminal record, blah blah blah, stuff like that. And in my opinion, that seemed legit because I don't have any criminal records. I've never filed a bankruptcy, and I did pay my taxes on time when I did work with my dad over the summer. So I was like, okay, so I mean, it seemed legit. So I was like, I mean, like, not 100% legit, but like it kind of fit, you know, in the category that I was in. So I was like, okay, I guess. So then he talked me through the process, saying that he's gonna give me another number to call, and then that number he'll give me like a code or something, and then that's like my so like to activate the grant or something. And like, keep in mind, I've never actually applied for the grant, so that should have been another thing, like another red flag that should have gone off in my head. But like I said, I was distracted with the money, so I was like, okay. So I never applied for the grant, which like I said should have been like another red flag. So since I never applied for it, I never actually knew what the process was. So this kind of seemed legit, you know what I mean? They're gonna send me to like another place where like the grants can be like, you know, authorized, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay. So he gave me the number, and then like I called them like, hey, they called me for this grant. I was hoping there was, you know, there's gonna be someone that speaks fluent English, because I really do understand the first guy. And sure enough, they gave me some Indian guy with an accent, like another thick accent that I couldn't understand like half the things he was saying. So again, like I was trying to communicate with this guy. Like in person, I can pretty much communicate with anyone. Like, even if they don't speak fluent English or Spanish, I can communicate pretty well with them. Over the phone, that's a different story. So like I said, we're over the phone. So like he was like, oh, you know, I'm from Washington D.C., blah blah blah. To receive the grant, do you know what the grant is for? And I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, you have to know what the grant's for. That's what the first person was supposed to tell you, like kind of like in a mean, like, you know, kind of like mad tone. So I was like, oh, sorry, I couldn't understand the first guy. And he's like, oh, let me explain it for you again. Like, you know, his Indian accent, like, think of Apu, but like even worse. Apu from The Simpsons, but it was worse than that. So then like he was like, oh, so he explained to me like basically what the first guy said, but like a little bit more clear, so I kind of understood what it was. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, yes, so he was saying some weird stuff like, okay, I gotta get like this green dot money pack card. He's like, have you heard of that? I'm like, no, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, that's how we can get you your money. I'm like, can't you just like give me cash or put it in my account? He's like, oh, we can't give you cash, but we'll put it in your account. Now that should have been another red flag. So I was like, okay, so you can wire to my account, right? And they're like, yeah. So but he's like, dude, do that. You have to go get a green pack money card, and then like you have to go, you know, deposit like $250 to like process the fee, and like to like verify that everything's done. I'm like, okay. And like after that, what? He's like, oh, then you go to the bank, blah blah blah. And then like I was like really sketchy at this point. Like throughout the whole conversation, from the first guy to this guy, I was sketchy at first, but like this got me like really sketchy. I was like, eh. So he's like, okay, so go get the card and then call me back when you're done. I'm like, okay. So I got dressed, I left, and I went to the bank first. I didn't get the card, I went to the bank. So I was like, hey, do you guys know how grants work? And they're like, yeah. So I told them like the situation. They're like, no, usually colleges contact you and tell you that you have money like for scholarships and grants and stuff. The grant person doesn't call you in person. So I was like, so they're like, yeah, this seems really, really fishy. So I'm like, okay, thank you. So I left the bank and I went straight home. And so I'm like, while I was coming home, the guy called me again. He's like, oh, did you get the money card yet? I was like, chill, I'm getting to it. I wasn't really getting to it. So like that was like really, really sketchy there, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm getting to it. So I get home, I start firing up my computer, I start changing back to my, you know, my home clothes and stuff. And then while I'm changing, I look up on my phone and I see I type in the Loyal Citizen Grant to see if this is legit or not. Cause like I said, I've never heard of any, like I'm not really familiar with grants or scholarships. So like I was like looking them up, and like sure enough, all these people said the same thing, that the people are offering them like all this money, and then all they gotta do is get this card and blah blah. So this was a scam, like a legit scam. So I was like, I'm not falling for this. So I called the guy over. I called him again. I was like, oh, sir, could you explain again what I'm supposed to do? And then like he was telling me, oh, I have to get the money card, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you over your BS. And I hung up, and then I just blocked the number. So then problem eliminated. So yeah, guys, don't be scammed by these guys. Like I said, I'll leave everything in the description. These Indian, Asian guys. I also read that there's like some like ladies also with accents. So I'll leave in the description like other channels, other people that have the same experience as I have, like on YouTube, that are like actually recording the thing. And then I also have, I'll link like just basically everything about these guys. So be careful with these people. They're you know, that they're scams. Don't fall for it. Now that I know, you know, colleges will contact you, or your school will contact you that you have money for scholarships or grants. So don't fall for any like stuff like, you know, calls and stuff, or maybe emails. Emails seem legit. Mails in the like, you know, letters in the mail are more legit also, like if it's like from companies and grants and stuff. So yeah, guys, don't fall for these things. You know, be careful out there. You know, the world's a dangerous place. This got me kind of thinking, like, eventually one day if I ever do become like really big, I'll probably start like a grant program, a fake one. I mean not a fake one, like non-official. Like I'll probably like donate money or like to people, college students and high school students that need the money. Maybe if I become big enough, you know, I like to do that, just so you know, because there's so many bad people in the world. You know, I want to be one of the good people. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Very bad people out there. Don't get scammed. Don't ever give away information. I did not give any information away other than my name, but you know, there's so many people with my name first and last, so it doesn't really matter. Don't ever give away your social security number to anyone, not even family members. Well, maybe if you really trust them, but like, you know, no bank information, no, you know, nothing. Don't try to give as little information as possible to strangers, because you never know like who they really are. You know what I mean? You know, professional companies will address themselves. You know, they say their name. You know, they're from company blah blah blah. This guy didn't give me his name at first, so I was kind of like on the sketch. But you know, like I said, I was like really caught up with the money. You know, that was distracting me. So be careful out there, guys. I'll leave all the information about these guys in the bottom, the description, blah blah. So also, if you've been scammed or know of scams in the comments, please leave them in the comments below. You know, so everyone can be aware of these scams. It doesn't have to be college related or grant related. Any scam in general, just like, you know, just leave your experience in the comments. You know, say like, you know, I've been scammed by these people, don't do it, blah blah blah. Help each other out, you know what I mean? So thank you for watching. Hopefully the gameplays were entertaining. If you enjoyed the content, please check out the other content in the channel, and remember, you guys are beasts. I'm out.